What's up, YouTube? We are back with episode 21 of the Super Deformed Gamescast, the only podcast on YouTube with better visuals than the Order 1886 and better sound than Star Wars Battlefront. We are happy that everybody is joining us this week. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of guests today. Well, we got a lot of podcast members, period, today. So, we've got the whole crew here. Everybody's here. And we have two guests. We have Z Huge is back with us, so welcome back, Z Huge. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
And for the first time, he's gaff famous, I guess, to coin a phrase. Rex Novis and his tiny little arms are here. Rex, what's going on,
buddy? Nothing much, just chilling for now.
Outstanding. But hey, so this is your first podcast. This is your first one, or is it your first gaming podcast?
It's my first broadcasted podcast. I've had to do some before for my graduate degree, but I have never broadcast before. So yeah, this will be my first one.
Don't worry, man. There's a lot of DP in this podcast. Okay, we've all played the Division beta, so there's a lot of DP going on in this podcast. And of course all the usual suspects.
We're talking about Dark Plains, of course.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Obviously, we're talking about the Division beta when we talk about DP on this podcast. So we're glad everybody's here. There's a lot to talk about. Before we launch into the very interesting shit that's been happening on Twitter today, I want to throw it over to Z Huge real quick. And Z, could you talk just real quick about the NPD results which dropped today?
Yeah, sure. So January's a bit of a nothing month, to be honest. Nothing ever happened, so this will be a bit boring. I do apologize. Basically, the video games industry as a whole was slightly down this January compared to last. So there was $600 million generated this January compared to about 630 this time last year. Video game hardware sales were down. The reason for that is because PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 are pretty much dead at this point. So only 4% of total hardware sales came from last-gen consoles, and 96% came from consoles like the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, etc. So at this point, the generational transition is over, and even though we're now well into Gen 8, hardware sales are still declining slightly, not so much in terms of units. So total units of PS4 and Xbox One were flat year-on-year, but just because we've seen a decrease in the average price per console, we've seen a slight decline in the total generated across hardware sales. Software sales also down a bit this year as well. The main reason behind that is because we had Dying Light last year, which debuted at number 1 back in January 2015. This year, the only new game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
So this year we only had Lego, which was out for 1 week. Lego Marvel Avengers. That's more of a long-term title, really. So it was only at number 9 this month, but we should see it continue to sell well over the rest of the year. Looking back into software then, what was really surprising to me this month was that Grand Theft Auto 5 is still there.
Holy fucking shit, Grand Theft Auto. Why won't you die?
Yeah, it's still selling amazingly 3 years after release. 60 million copies have been sold worldwide. And I think about more than a quarter of that is from the US alone.
That's fucking insane. I can't wrap my head around this shit.
We Americans love blowing our shit up.
Yeah, they do, man. Holy shit.
Yeah,
while being made fun of the entire time.
Just to put that in context, that's like a fifth of the entire population of America.
I mean, seriously, it's there's no other way to fucking explain this, man. I mean, it's honestly, are we taking bets at this point as to when GTA 5 is going to fall off the top 10? Probably when GTA 6 comes out, I guess, right?
I mean, GTA.
No, I assume GTA 5 will probably get a bump when GTA 6 gets released, and then maybe 3 or 4 months after GTA 6 gets released, it'll take its place. That's what I imagine will happen.
I feel like they're probably going to spin off GTA Online into its own separate thing.
No.
It's just going to change the way things like Red Dead Redemption get rolled out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think that's a smart assessment.
So yeah,
Z, is there anything else you want to talk about? Oh, go ahead, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries. GTA 5 is Yeah, still selling in the US basically. 3 million, more than 3 million copies were sold in the US just last year. To put that into perspective, that's more than, I guess, Bloodborne sold, but then obviously that's a PS4 exclusive. It's it's better than most games, to be honest, sold last year. Even better than games like, I'm just trying to think now. Mortal Kombat X, for example, sold more than that. In the US. And remember, this is what, 3 years on from release. So yeah, great,
Yeah.
great numbers there.
2.5.
Minecraft is also in the top 10 at number 6. Again, that's an old game as well, but it's still consistently selling. Accessories also saw an increase this year. That was thanks to Toys to Life. So Disney's Infinity, Skylanders, Amiibo all saw a big increase during the holiday season last year, but then also in January as well. Overall, yeah, January was what we expected, slightly down compared to last year. Um, I think the outlook for 2016 is pretty strong. We should see 8th gen consoles really leading the way and growing year over year, and I expect to see that reflected in game software sales as well. But one of the main things I think to point out is that this gen is going to be a lot different compared to last, whereas before we had the 7th gen console, so PS3, 360, and Wii, all performing very well, and you also have the DS and PSP as well, which are doing well. This year and this gen, we've only just got the PS4 and Xbox One, which are doing relatively well. So I do think software sales should be flat or up year on year. Hardware sales will be down, and that's primarily because there aren't as many products out there being sold, or that are actually selling well, and we're going to see the average price of consoles drop as well. So yeah, software is going to be up for the year, I think. Accessories is going to be up. Hardware might be down. But for January as a whole, yeah, average. Nothing really to nothing really.
Now, when you say hardware is down, you're talking about the revenue, right? Not the units?
Revenue, not
Okay.
units.
Yeah, I was gonna say because PlayStation 4 is up year over year, isn't it, Z?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. So it looks like PlayStation 4 is actually up units-wise year over year, but maybe it's down in revenue because, again, the price cuts and whatnot, like you mentioned before.
Yep. So for example, in January, the amount being sold for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One was it's about the same as what was sold last year. However, the amount of revenue generated was down because, unlike last year when the PS4 was $399, it was being sold at about $350 this year. Probably even cheaper, I think, online. But yeah, so hardware revenue will most likely be down this year, whereas video game software revenue will most likely be flat or up. But yeah, like I said, January is just an average month. Don't read too much into it.
Do we know any information on whether the Xbox One and Wii U were up or down hardware unit-wise?
That's a good question,
In
actually.
January, I believe they were
You-
pretty much the
every-
same as last year. I have to check, but
So okay, so
Yeah,
mostly
for
flat.
January.
maybe slightly lower actually. I don't have the
Really?
exact numbers in
Yeah,
front of me.
okay.
I'll check at this point.
Lower? Well, okay. Yeah. All right,
All right,
fair enough.
so-
Cool. Cheers.
So Z, thanks for kind of breaking down the MPD for us, bud.
Yeah, no worries.
You may go now, Z. That's all we wanted you here for.
Yeah, I wanted
I'm
to
just
talk
kidding,
about
buddy.
games.
Please don't go. Please don't go. It's a joke.
The good news
So-
is the huge podcast appearances are up 200% over last quarter.
Been working on it. Been-
Holy shit. So there's there's a lot of interesting shit that's happened this week. I want to start off with, so I don't know if you guys have heard, but apparently Quantum Break is coming to PC. Now I heard about this one right before I went to my training today. I came out and Twitter had just absolutely collapsed into a fucking black hole of misery. I have never really seen anything like this. People are, so I took it upon myself. I looked at some of the shit that people are tweeting out over this, and people are asking for money back from Phil Spencer for their Xbox One purchases over this. And you've got really rabid Xbox fanboys now, tweeting Shuhei Yoshida and saying, hey, can't wait for Uncharted 4. You know, keep the PlayStation. And
Loving that Nate Drake collection. When's Uncharted?
I'm playing that Nathan Drake collection right now, bro. I can't wait for that Uncharted 4.
This is I love every second of this. It's great.
No, seriously, no. I said on Twitter that like all of this drama over Quantum Break is like delicious salt taffy to me. And I was so unhappy that I had to go back into trading and miss all this shit. But I wanted to throw it because I'm of the attitude, and, you know, to kind of get serious for a minute, my attitude is you know, if Bloodborne, and I'm mostly a PlayStation guy, if Bloodborne were announced for Xbox One or PC tomorrow, I'd be like, all right, cool. I mean, I don't care. I don't need.
Or you mean like Uncharted 4? Like, I mean, Bloodborne already came out. Nobody cares, but. Like
whatever, fine. But Uncharted 4, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, big new game. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon, I don't care. The more people who are able to play games, the better. And I don't understand this attitude of, well, it's no longer just for me, so therefore I don't want it anymore. I wanted to throw it at you guys and just kind of fucking throw this shit into the blender and see what you guys think.
I think people are really looking at PC as an extension of the console user base, and I really don't see it that way at all. That's why PlayStation has made it a point to allow things to come out on the PC that have been console exclusive. They've kind of embraced that term, you know, and I think that that's worked out really well for them because it means, you know, they get an exclusive for that user base, that console user base, but it still gets a wider audience on PC, so it can meet more success. In the long run, I mean, it's going to mean more money for the Microsoft studios that are working on the games, so that means that they can make bigger games and better games. They can put more time and effort into the games. You know, it's got a bigger audience that it can potentially pull from. I will say that I think it's dumb that they're locking it behind the Windows 10 like game store or whatever it is.
It's to be expected.
Instead of Steam, but like, you know, it's better than nothing, but still, it's kind of eh. I think they would do really well if they just released it on PC wholesale across all platforms.
So here's my thing. I don't. So people are. I guess one of the big reasons that people are upset about Quantum Break going to PCs, the fact that, and a bunch of people tweeted this at Phil Spencer today. And by the way, God bless Phil Spencer for actually like putting up with this shit. I mean, he was actually responding to these rabid fanboys and saying, well, "You're going to cancel your pre-order because it's available on another system." Or I don't know what's the matter with you. But you know, what I don't understand is Quantum Break was and people are saying, "Oh, you've killed the Xbox brand. You know, Xboxes aren't going to sell in April now." But Quantum Break was not going to sell, in my opinion.
That's what I was like. I don't think Quantum Break wasn't going to be like a 10 million seller. Like not even a 5 million seller.
It's not, and it's not because it won't be a good game. It personally looks really good to me. But it's not going to sell systems because it's an untested new IP. And if it's like the second coming of Order 1886, it's not going to sell consoles at all. I mean, look at Titanfall. When Titanfall came out, everybody was like, "Oh, Titanfall is gonna sell so many Xbox Ones," and it sold a healthy amount. But PS4 actually beat it that month.
I mean, Alan Wake didn't exactly set the world on fire. Although it did come out the same day as Red Dead Redemption.
And I know, yeah, that was kind of fucked up. But I guess my point is, I've said it before. Rex, go ahead. Oh, you're cutting out, buddy.
Different, yes, different.
I agree, it's different. I agree. I don't know what's different,
it's
but
not,
it's different.
It's on a different tier than Titanfall or Destiny. It's not getting hyped up to no end like those titles are. You know, it's not gonna push the sales like we've seen with some of the other new IPs that have come out. So the idea that this coming to PC is gonna somehow drop hardware sales just seems ridiculous to me. Like, again, I think people are just really caught up in this idea that the PC user base and the console user base are the same, and I really don't think they are. I think they're pretty much as separate as they can be for the most part. So I don't think you're going to encroach on each other there.
I think a lot of this is not just Quantum Break by itself, but also the rumor that came with it that Gears and what was it, Forza or something might be coming to PC as well. I don't know.
Wait, what? That's news to me.
Yeah, so GameSpot put up like saying that also.
Well, they retracted it though.
They retracted it. But I mean, like that was mostly I saw people care more about that than Quantum Break. It's just that Quantum Break kind of, breaks
But
down
we've
the gap for
we've
these.
seen that this is where they're going, though. We've seen this is where
It
they're
sets a
going
good precedent.
with that MAO switch to MAO and their releases and whatnot. They're no
Well,
longer talking
it's
about.
only dangerous if you're a fanboy. It's good for everyone else. But yeah.
I mean, if people have been paying attention, they knew this was coming. So it's not that big of a surprise to me. That it's day one is a little bit of a surprise. It's just disappointing to me that they're locking it behind their ecosystem. Basically, if they release it on Steam, I think that'd be really cool.
Never gonna happen.
I think this has been a long time coming, to be honest, for Microsoft. This is something they should have done years ago, in my opinion. But it's good that they're finally doing it now with Windows 10. And it's part of their whole strategy, really, to bridge the gap between consoles and PC. Microsoft have been at the forefront of desktop operating systems since the 90s. And so it actually surprises me that they've never done something on the scale of Steam or something similar to perhaps the iOS App Store. Where
No, that's actually really good.
GFWL was their shot, but they fucked it up.
it was, but they messed it up.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
The
Sorry.
Xbox store is their next big push for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is that's where they're going now. We're going to see a lot of interactivity between the console and PC. So, for example, game streaming, TV, DVR stuff, cross-platform play as well. Is supposed to be coming in the future.
yeah.
Box.
There's also cross-save, apparently. Cross-save function between Xbox and PC for Quantum Break. And if you buy the digital version of Quantum Break on the Xbox One, you also get it on the PC. So it's cross-buy.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, but it's only if you pre-order, I think, is what I read.
It's only if you... Okay. I
Which
didn't know
is
that.
kind of... I mean, it's cool, but if the reviews come out after the deadline for pre-ordering, it's kind of like you have to take a gamble. Not that it's not going to be good, but...
I mean, yeah, Remedy's never made a bad game.
Yeah.
Pretty safe.
And I think it's a pretty safe bet that Quantum Break is going to be a good game. I mean, I've still got my concerns about it, but I think it's going to be a good game. I plan on picking it up. But something that Z-Huge said, I kind of want to bounce off of that. And what my first thought was when I saw that Quantum Break was coming to PC is this like are we slowly watching Microsoft transition Xbox from a platform into a service?
Absolutely.
I think
kind of
for
wanted
this
to.
one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just say one
No,
quick
go.
thing.
No, I want to hear from you guys. Go.
So basically, for this, it's all about getting a large number of users, large number of higher engagement. So if you look at the traditional console lifecycle last generation, you had about 85 million Xbox 360s installed. Now you've got 200 million Windows 10 devices, which are all able to theoretically play these games or interact with Xbox Live in a way. It's working as well. Last quarter, Microsoft reported that video games revenue was up 47%, thanks to games like Minecraft, Halo 5, Gears of War Ultimate. Xbox Live engagement was up. Revenue was also up as well. In fact, I think I read that people are actually spending more per purchase as well. So what they're trying to do is get as many users as possible into this ecosystem, using the Xbox app on Windows, playing the games on Windows, playing the games on the Xbox console, and that will eventually lead to more revenue coming in from, yes, as you said, software and services. I think a lot of people forget that a gaming PC costs more than an Xbox One, and the average person would actually rather purchase a console, unless they already have a gaming PC, for example. So just to use an example such as VR, there are 1.5 billion PCs worldwide, but only 13 million of them can run VR. And it's similar for, I guess, games. You look at the requirements for Quantum Break, they are quite high.
Okay, so
980 Ti.
Exactly.
Well, I just wanted to expand on that too, and on what Rex said earlier. Like, they're not really competitors, and I don't see it eating the sales because people aren't walking into a Walmart and deciding between an Xbox One and a PC, right? Like those people that are going to buy it on a console are still going to buy it on Xbox One, and people that already have a PC and Xbox One, Microsoft doesn't give a shit which platform they buy it on.
Yeah, the
because
money's
they're
going
already
to
in on both.
Money's going
Yeah.
to in place.
So it's, if you did like a Venn diagram of people with a PC and people who are interested in consoles, and like the overlap is so small that it's not going to be significant, and the revenue they get for throwing it on both is way going to outweigh those drawbacks.
And they're
also,
trying
I
to bridge
think
that they're trying to bridge that 17 or so million units that are leaving some of their developers out in the cold. Because remember, you have that much of a difference between PS4 users or consoles sold anyway, and Xbox Ones. So you have to be fair to those guys who are going to develop the games for you.
also, if we look at any console as well, PS4, Xbox One, maybe not Wii U, but first-party games are always outsold by third parties most of the time.
Yeah.
And people buy these consoles to play FIFA and Call of Duty every year. Pretty much.
Yep.
Well,
And for their kids to play some Minecraft.
I think the big takeaway here is that consoles are dead.
That's
Sorry,
it.
guys.
Well,
It's been a good run.
It's been a great run. I am going to kneel at the altar of Zhuge and welcome my new mobile overlords. I'm really looking forward to Uncharted 5 on Android and iOS coming in 2017. That's going to be really awesome. And hey Z, before I move on to our next news topic, I want to ask you, or at least kind of point out, every time you open your mouth, you make the rest of us sound so stupid. So if you could start, I don't know, maybe just either not talk or
I'll
maybe
just type in the chat.
just type in the chat, or maybe do the best American Southern accent you can to make yourself sound. That would be great, okay? Because you're really making the rest of us look really stupid.
My apologies.
So next to the news,
Sorry.
you should be. Oh, and by the way, Jeffrey Hoffhart in chat says that who's on Twitter. He says that Jeff needs to chug a bottle of syrup at the end of every episode. And I endorse.
I don't even have any syrup in my kitchen.
I endorse
Lies.
this.
And you are not a Canadian, sir. Shame.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, JT, are you still with us, dude? I haven't heard from you all night.
Yeah, what's up?
There he is. Go to the back. Like the silent assassin. He's been playing Rocket League the whole time. That's why he's quiet. I fucking bet you are too. All right. So the next news is so Destiny 2 is coming in 2017, and there's a large new expansion coming in 2016. So this story is from IGN. And I'll just read just the very first part of it. It says, ahead of its quarterly earnings call today, Activision has revealed more on the future of Destiny, which will see a major expansion this year and a sequel next year. Activision Publishing, along with its partners at Bungie, expects to bring a large new expansion to Destiny in 2016 and to release a full game sequel in 2017. Activision also stated that 25 million players have logged in more than 3 billion hours in Destiny. Not really surprising. I think we all knew that a sequel was coming. What with their 10-year plan, this does kind of show that they have cobbled together somewhat of a plan for the game going forward this year, which was a little worrying considering the statements that we had a month ago saying that they had no future, no plan forward for the game in 2016. So I don't know. Is anybody excited for Destiny 2 next year?
Well, I think the discussion around them having no plan came from an article by Jason Schreier. I don't know how to pronounce it. Schreier. Yeah.
Schreier.
Because he basically said they were trying to figure out how they're going to handle the lack of Destiny 2 this year. That's what they didn't have a plan for. So the options were to either try to string along basic content like they have now, which they apparently are not going to do, or try to get their live team to make like an actual expansion, which would just be insane because the live team is super small, which is what apparently they're going to do. So I'm not exactly holding out hope for this to be like an amazing big expansion because they have their live team on it. The live team's pretty damn small. I don't see it being big news.
I think that I think they need whatever expansion they do have coming this year. I think needs to be on par, if not bigger than the Taken Team, because that kind of set the bar for what people expect from Destiny expansions coming forward. Jeff, what was that? I'm sorry, JT. Was that JT or Jeff?
I don't think that's realistic at all.
No, it's not. It's really not.
That big?
It's not. Not with the team that's making it. That's
no. No, but I mean that's kind of my point. No, I mean I don't think it's realistic either. But I at the same time I think it's what they need to do. I don't think it's what they're going to do. But I do think it is what they need to do because we talked about this before. There's a lot of interest in the division right now. A lot of people were impressed with that beta.
Man, I do not get that.
I don't get it either.
I don't either.
I didn't like it at all. I thought it
Every
was
single
horrible.
week, this podcast devolves into the division talk.
I
Yeah,
really
you
don't
guys-
get it.
Did you guys like Destiny, or is it just Destiny people that it
I enjoyed Destiny for like up until like House of Wolves, and then I stopped, and then I played for Taken King, and then I stopped. And
Playing
what I played, I enjoyed.
I like
Playing-
Diablo and I like Phantasy Star Online, but for some reason Destiny and the Division just don't do it for me.
playing
Because I like shooter, like third-person and first-person shooters are one of my favorite genres. But for some reason, like when they make a loot shooter, it just doesn't do it for me.
playing Destiny is a lot like watching hentai. You keep telling yourself, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. And yet, every month you come back to it. At least that's what.
You're just
Say,
trying
Is it like
that?
That's what I don't know. That's what JT told me.
either anime or
I think Brandon's on the right track with his track record lately.
oh, I started playing Mega Dimension Neptunia. That's
Oh my
Now,
god.
sometimes,
Okay,
And how is that going for you?
it's pretty bad. It's not a good game.
sometimes when I look at what Brandon's playing on PSN, sometimes I just shake my head and
I got
just
the
like, I don't know
platinum
what the fuck this
trophy
means.
in that Croiler Sigma game last night too. It was terrible. It was awful. I hated every second of it. But yeah, so let's talk about Mega Dimension. It's just it's my favorite.
God.
Please, no, I want to hear
Andy.
this. I want to hear this. I want to
Yeah,
hear
I
this.
No one else is going to talk about it, so
So
you might as
the
well.
writing is
I want. This is the. Hold on. Before Brandon goes, I just want to point out this is the only forum that Brandon will ever be able to talk about that game. So please, Brandon, go right ahead.
Okay, can I do a caveat? If he gets to talk about Mega Dimension, then I get to talk about Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Please, by
You
all
can talk
means,
about-
I'm
yes.
very
Talk
interested
about
in
whatever
that
you want.
'cause
All
I
right, sweet.
didn't play
I'll
it.
give my own section to Dynasty Warriors.
I'm down to talk some Dragon Quest heroes. I don't like Dynasty Warriors, but
Well, here's
Well, actually, I joined the wrong podcast.
okay. So I'll tell you what. Here's what we are going to talk about. And we'll get back to the news in just a minute because there is something else I wanted to talk about. But I want to talk about Firewatch. And for anybody who's either hasn't played it, is planning to, or is in the middle of it, I'm not going to get any spoilers. But I do want to. I finished it last night, and there are a few things I want to say about the game, and then kind of throw it out the group. So I finished Firewatch last night. Right off the bat, people have been talking about performance issues on PS4, and I get it. I mean, there are times there's some screen tearing, there's some frame rate issues, which I really don't understand because I mean, if you can get the Witness to run at 60 frames a second, I don't think there's any reason that Firewatch couldn't have done the same. But that aside, the game is beautiful.
just the engine. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's just the engine. But the game is beautiful. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Ollie Moss's artwork, and that fucking PS4 theme is incredible. It has replaced my Final Fantasy VII theme, with Brandon's probably all.
Sacrilege.
I'm looking
But-
for something to replace. I'm kind of sick of the Eris theme already, so I'm kind of looking for something to
The
replace.
It's so
hearing
good.
you say that is really weird. It's really weird to hear you say you're sick of anything Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy VII.
Well,
but so,
I mean,
so
dude, when you hear it like, I don't know, an hour
a
a day.
billion. Yeah, I know it does kind of wear on you. You have to check out. So you have to check out that Firewatch PS4 theme. It actually changes according to your PS4 clock. So in the morning it's a morning, in the afternoon the sun starts setting. At night it is pretty fucking cool. So like I said, I finished Firewatch last night. It took me about 4.5 hours. The game is not very long. And it's actually a lot more linear than you would believe. Like it's an open map, but I mean the game really kind of funnels you from point A to point
If you're
B.
going down the wrong path, you are really going down the wrong path.
You really, really are. And
Like
and
if you
it's
go in like one wrong direction, you have to go way back. 'Cause, like,
you really do. There's
it's not
no
really
fast
like-
travel.
It's not an open world. It's just a bunch of paths.
That's all it is. It is not. Brian King in the chat asked if there's a platinum trophy. No, there's no platinum.
Now there's like 3
in
golds,
fact,
a silver, and a bronze.
Yeah, the trophy list for Firewatch is not that impressive.
You get all the trophies
But-
just by playing the game.
But I will say this: the ending of that game has been a really big bone of contention for a lot of people. It's got a lot of people divided.
I'm about an hour away from the ending myself.
I loved it. And Brandon, I'll be really interested to hear what you think about it. But I loved it.
I wish I started playing it earlier so I could have finished it before the podcast, but I'm pretty close.
So Firewatch is probably one of the most well-written games I have ever played.
The dialogue is fantastic. The exchange between Henry and Delilah.
It is, and actually Gabe put up a 30-minute Let's Play of Firewatch on YouTube last night.
I named my turtle Turt Reynolds.
Yep.
Turt Reynolds. It is such. I mean, Delilah and Henry, you never really see their faces, but they have more character than the entirety of many AAA games I've played.
That's a stretch. Man, that's such a stretch.
No, dude. I mean, especially the last hour of the game, Brandon. Fuck off, Steve.
Good shit coming, because I played 3/4 of the game already and I haven't seen shit.
Dude, the ending of that game will either really make you really, really introspective, or you'll fucking hate it. There's no in between for that ending.
I'm almost sure I'm gonna hate it.
But I know Gabe.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those old shows on television with the 911 operators that would talk to the people on the other end of the line.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's I totally get that, dude. I totally see that. And I actually, so who else here has played Firewatch other than me and Brandon? I know JT has. I know Gabe has. Who else?
I did some share play.
I've watched some footage of it. I haven't played it yet.
So JT, have you finished it?
No. Actually, I was trying to finish it before tonight because I knew we were going to talk about it, and I ran into a bug that would not let me progress, and set me back about an hour or so.
I've seen that a few times.
Maybe 45 minutes.
At least it's not a very long game.
It's the third freeze that I've had on PS4.
I've had so many freezes on PS4. I play a lot of indie games that just a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it does have a lot of issues on PS4, which is a little weird.
But a lot of what you said is exactly head on nail for me. I love the art overall. Like I've taken way too many screenshots already on my PS4. The theme is fantastic. I love Ollie Moss. I want to get those Firewatch posters now. I'm kicking myself for not getting that limited run that they made, I think, before last Christmas or something. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. I love the writing, but the story, it's disappointing to hear that there's no real payoff, from what I understand. But
well, it depends on your definition of payoff. So I mean, and that's really what it boils down to. Before I ask Gabe what he thinks about it, I want to point out. So you get it's set in 1989. You get one of those disposable, Kodiak cameras that you have to have the film developed. You can actually there's an out-of-game store run by Campo Santo. You can actually get those pictures developed and sent to you from the game.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. It's actually really cool. It's actually incredibly fucking cool. I'm thinking about doing it just once, just to see what they come out like. But Gabe, so you put up a 30-minute Let's Play the other night. Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on the game as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's as much as I only played that 30 minutes, and I just jumped to another thing. I played
Gabe was like,
30 minutes, and then I'm still gonna play. I'm enjoying it. Actually, I enjoyed the little that I played. I actually enjoyed it. So far, but I can't really give you an opinion because I only played it for 30 minutes. So. All I can say is that it's a very beautiful game, and so far, that's it. Let's see how it goes after I finish.
Gabe is a man of few words, but when he speaks, everybody shuts the fuck up and listens to him. But no. So
thing about it.
Go ahead. No, JT, please.
Firewatch and to a little bit more of a point, Unravel. I've been playing a little bit of that as well.
Ooh,
these games that have come out recently, and The Witness, could roll that in there too. I am incredibly satisfied with smaller, shorter, succinct experiences like these that I play, enjoy, love, and get something out of. It's not just a game you play and just to play and get it done, get through it, but you actually experience it and enjoy it. But then it ends, and you can move on. It doesn't go on forever. It's not an endless loot grind. It's this is what I have gone on record saying that I want, that I crave, is these shorter experiences, and I'm loving that about these recent games. Unravel is a fantastic game.
One of those that I just checked out was Not a Hero on PS4, which comes from it comes from the Ollie Ollie team, but it's a shooter instead. So it's like a shooter based on Ollie Ollie almost. So kind of like you're supposed to stay consistently moving, pulling off you're pulling off combos.
You have to press a button to land, because that drove me nuts about Ollie Ollie.
No, thankfully not. It's a 2D side-scrolling shooter with you play with a high emphasis on verticality because you're moving through buildings, so you're going from floor to floor. It's a good game. There's not a lot to say about it. It's just kind of like a 2D shooter.
Is it available on Vita?
No.
No.
Because if it is, I'll pick it up. I think
it's on Steam. It's on Steam and PS4.
I've got so much to fucking play
right now. It is available on Vita.
Is it?
It is available on Vita.
I would recommend it then. It was good. I enjoyed it.
In that case, I'm going to download that. Well, I've still got to play Unravel.
It's got a great sense of humor too. It's really good. Good
sense of humor. I didn't say it is. I said you know what is. Do you know what is available on Vita?
Oh no! Oh damn it!
Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
We're not talking about Digimon Vita. Sorry, we're not talking about Digimon Cyber Sleuth. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yo, and I need to hear about this game because everyone's
talking about it.
I need to know why the fuck everyone's
Just calm down. Everybody simmer down, and I'll explain. Alright, so I'm not even a big Digimon fan. The last time I saw anything Digimon was when I was like 12 years old or whatever, but I'm fucking loving this game. I bought it because a friend of mine and I have a deal. We get to recommend each other 2 games a year to buy, and we have to buy them. So I bought this at his recommendation, and I booted it up, and I was like, okay, I'm expecting basically nothing. It's going to be some small, worthless game, whatever. But seriously, it's an amazing JRPG. It's like if you take Shin Megami Tensei and combine it with Pokemon, and you toss the two together and throw it into
it's not an amazing JRPG.
It is.
Neptunia. No, Mega Dimension Neptunia is not an amazing JRPG. But anyway, continue.
So the way I like to explain like games that I'm playing is I do 3-on-3, which is 3 good things and 3 bad things. So, like, for me, the 3 good things are that it's surprisingly, like, in-depth. Like, the systems that the game has, it has a startling amount of content. Like, it's a size... Like, I'm 50 hours into the game, and I'm, like, halfway through the story because I'm a grinder. But it's got a lot of content. It's got a lot of stuff there. This next thing that's really good is it's got a really high attention to detail. So... Like, for example, there's this one move that one single Digimon learns, and what it does is it sends this debuff that turns the other enemy into, like, a pixelized version of themselves. Kind of like that pixel gun in Ratchet and Clank. So when I got this, I was thinking, okay, so when you use this, it's just going to turn every Digimon into some standard pixel monster, right? But it's not. Every single one has their own pixel variation. They've got their own animations for that pixel variation. They've got, their own attack animations. They've got, like, light up and stuff. Like, every single Digimon, over 250 of them in the game, have their own pixel version, just for this one move. And then, like, each Digimon has their own special move that's completely different animation from any other special move. And, like, they've got their own attack animations, their own spell animations. And, like, it's very fine attention to details. And then the third thing I really like about it is the art. I think the art is on point. I think it's gorgeous. It's made by the same people who did the Persona 4 art.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, that's.
So the three things that are kind of iffy about it, the localization is rough. So like most of the time, I'd say about 90% of the time, it's not a problem because you can still understand what's going on and you can kind of put it together. But there are some occasions where like they'll tell you to do something for a quest and it's not really clear what exactly you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go, and that's a problem. Like that gets in the way.
Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment Vita version.
No, God no. It's not that bad. But there are translation errors. But honestly, like it's more charming than anything else. It's not like it's like little laugh funny mistakes. Like for example, there's a big enemy in the game that you have to fight multiple times, and in Japanese there's a word bakemono. It means monster, right? But there's also a Digimon that's Bakemon, and for some reason when they translated it in Japanese they called this thing a monster, but every time they talk about it they call him this other Digimon. So they call him Bakemon, and he's not Bakemon. So
unplayable.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, fuck that, man. Pre-order canceled.
And so the second thing that's kind of iffy was, let's see. So it can be a little grindy, but there are ways around that. You just have to work really hard to get them. The third thing that's kind of iffy. So there are these Digiline messages, kind of like text messages that you get sent from your Digimon as like communication or whatever, and like some of them are just so badly translated, it's just hilarious. But others are just badly translated, and you can't understand what the hell they're saying. And the reason that's a problem is because some of them are questions, and they ask you questions as like quiz questions or whatever, and you can't answer them because you don't understand what they mean. So that's a problem.
John, hold on. I have got to bring this up. So get this. Dying Light is going to have an enhanced edition that rivals Just Causes 3's Island.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, we got this.
Hold on.
Dying Light enhanced edition, Spotlight edition, $10 million.
What?
$10 million.
What?
$10 million in special edition. So here's what you get.
Why are we here? Why are we not playing Dying Light?
Professional acting lessons from Roger Craig Smith.
Nice.
What the fuck?
A personal trailer on the set of the Dying Light movie.
Dying Light movie?
Oh yeah, okay. Apparently there's gonna be a Dying Light movie. I didn't know that, but yeah, okay. So there you go. Stuntman training, off-road driving course, an original copy of the Dying Light script, a screening tour, VIP tickets, makeup session. You get to be the voice of Kyle Crane.
What?
And you get a supporting role in the movie.
What the fuck am I hearing?
You get an action scene and a speaking role in the movie for $10 million.
It's a pretty good deal.
I mean,
$10 million.
It's only $10 million, man. It's not that.
What was? Do you guys remember that Saints Row edition they had? That was a lot of money too.
Oh, that's a steal, man.
You got me thinking about the fucking dude. You got me thinking about that fucking island now. Just Cause 3. Has it been? Do we have any resolution on that? Brandon, look that up.
That was a contest. This you actually have to pay them.
I know, which is like I mean I don't understand. Like, is that a troll? Are they serious?
No, they're
$10 million.
I mean, well, it's fucking Techland, so they're kind of jokesters anyway.
Dude, what if some smartass actually pays him $10 million?
I don't know, man. It's for real.
Smartass.
It's for real.
That's fucking awesome.
I didn't even know there was going to be a Dying Light movie. But yeah.
I had no idea. I still need to play this. I've got it downloaded. I still have not played. The following. Although I think JT and I are gonna do some co-op later this weekend, hopefully. Okay, so something I wanted to talk about real quick, and I know JT will be really amped up to talk about this. So yesterday, Rocket League started season 2. Coming from Games. So just the other day from GameSpot. The official Rocket League Twitter account alerted fans that Season 1 ranked play would end around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. That was yesterday now. And let players know that ranked playlist would be disabled until the new patch releases. The account tweeted shortly after that the new patch in Season 2 would start rolling out an hour later. Season 2 of Rocket League will feature new divisions, titles, and more. You will have to determine their skill level by playing 10 matches, which will then place you in one of the 3 divisions. Psyonix has confirmed that your division placement will be influenced in some way by your performance in Season 1. This is great fucking news. I love Rocket League.
It's an MMR like StarCraft or League of Legends.
That's exactly what it is. And the way it worked before was it used to tell you exactly what rank you were based on a certain number. And now, due to this update, it will no longer show you like how many points you gain, but you can still rank up and down. So they used to have like your bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum, but now they changed it to more Rocket League specific rankings. They have like at the top it's like blue, gold, then silver. So it's like the top ones. There's 4 divisions of each tier, and the top ones is like champion, challenger, and prospect. So it's kind of like a Rocket League version of, they're making it their ranking system, not just a generic ranking system. But that's pretty much there's a lot of bug fixes, a lot of stuff like that, all under the hood stuff. But the new ranking system, I think, will go a long way to foster growth of players who aren't really good all the time. Like it was frustrating that if you get in a game and lose due to other people, out of your control. If you're playing solo standard, for example.
Kind of like when you were playing with me and my wife.
So in this way, it'll put the focus back on consistently playing well, and you're looking at more of the long term than the short term. You don't have to worry as much about losing a single game and getting deranked because you passed the threshold from 600 down to in the 500 range, so you lose your silver ranking based on that. So this is going to be good in the long term for Rocket League.
Well, and it's not like Rocket League was hurting for fucking players or anything. I mean, I logged on last night to play, and there was like 40,000 fucking people on PS4 playing that thing. That thing is a monster, and it just reinforces my belief that the next Rocket League we get is going to be a much, much larger affair.
Is that more than Battlefront?
No, it's not more than Battlefront. I mean, I think although, you know what, dude? You can look up Battlefront stance right now, which is actually what I'm going to do. So hold that thought, because now I'm curious to see how Rocket League is comparing to something like Battlefront.
So here's another question for you guys. How do you think Rocket League is going to do on Xbox One since it doesn't have cross-platform
I think it's going to do just fine. I think it's going to do maybe not as well as it does on it did PS4. Because you got to remember, when it first came out on PS4, dude, like it was free. The game was free for a long time. So
I think that did so much for that game. It gave it the user base that it needed, and then it spread like wildfire after that. That being a PS Plus game made Rocket League.
It did.
Fully believe it.
So
I mean, it had to be something because they already put out superpower acrobatic rocket battle cars or whatever the fuck, and nobody gave a shit.
I see it having a strong start on Xbox and then kind of petering out, because I mean, most of the competitive community is still on PC and PS4.
Well, I think it's... Go ahead.
No, I'm just not sure if you guys know, but the game's now got more than 10 million downloads since it came out.
That's fucking nuts. That's fucking... Well, I mean, the fucking game...
2.5 million are from PC.
The fucking game made... I mean, the last time we reported on it made almost $50 million profit, which is...
That's so crazy. The next game better be amazing.
Oh, no, I guarantee you the next Rocket League game, I've said it before, the next Rocket League game from like a budget standpoint is going to be a much, much bigger affair than Rocket League is right now.
I still don't think we need to be talking about Rocket League 2 anytime soon.
No, and I agree.
This game for a while.
They'll do a Rocket League 2.
Oh, they will eventually. I think it's going to be a much bigger release. But Brandon, to answer your question, so right now there are 44,147 players playing Battlefront, right? Which was almost what Rocket League had last night. So Rocket League is pulling in almost as many players as Star Wars Battlefront is. Now, granted, dude, those numbers for Battlefront have fallen off quite a bit since the holidays. I remember I was playing Battlefront back then. I haven't played it in a long time.
I haven't played in 2 months. Yeah.
Back in December, dude, there was like over 100K players playing concurrently on any given day. But now you're looking. I mean, so the 24-hour peak for Battlefront is just a little over 50K. which is good, but it's not anything that it's not what it was doing. Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't. That's not what it was doing a month ago. So I mean, the player base.
It's normal. It's normal. You're always going to get
sure. I just think it's really impressive that a game like Rocket League is even keeping up with something like Battlefront.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, really fucking impressed by that. But yeah, no. So yeah, Rocket League Season 2, really awesome. I played it again last night. I hadn't played it in a while. I've almost got my platinum trophy. I'm one away from getting my platinum.
Go play your 10 games. Go get ranked. See where you stack up now.
I know, right? So one more piece of news I want to talk about before we get into something else. And thanks again to Gabe for putting this together. So Onimusha discussions are happening at high levels, confirmed Capcom producer Yoshinari Ono. It's been a little over 15 years since Capcom first released the hugely popular and incredibly influential samurai action-adventure Onimusha Warlords. But despite a flurry of sequels and a 5-year spell, the series has been pretty much AWOL following the 2006 release of Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, which I never fucking played.
I didn't play that one either. It's the only one. Yeah.
A possible reveal for the game has been mentioned once or twice in recent years, but Capcom has not shown any hunger to revisit Onimusha. And then, so I guess they talked to Ono, and Ono says, I have spoken internally with people who made Onimusha with me originally and talked about maybe how interesting it would be to revisit that series, but fans should know that we're not further down that road than the discussion phase. I had heard about this just the other day, and people were already getting their wheels spun up about another Onimusha, and my first thought was everybody needs to pump the fucking brakes. I mean, Capcom.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I mean, Onimusha 3 is one of my favorite PS2 games by far.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna be like Onimusha 4 for sure, confirmed. Yeah.
So, but see, here's the thing: like, people are getting really worked up over this, and I mean, Street Fighter V. The only reason that's getting made is because Sony was like, "We'll pay for it."
Yeah, Capcom doesn't make new games anymore.
No, they make fucking remasters now. The remaster.
Well, they don't have the budget. They don't have the budget to make big games. That's why they have to look for outside funding. They basically burnt all their funds on mobile games that weren't particularly successful for them, and so all the money that they made off of Monster Hunter and stuff is kind of gone at this point. But honestly, like I would like a new Onimusha, but at this point I'm way more excited for Neo, because that seems like if Onimusha was going to evolve, that'd be what Onimusha would be today. Yeah, looks amazing.
Yeah, I think I would rather have a new Resident Evil in the vein of 4 than I would another Onimusha. Just because I'm not sure how relevant Onimusha is as a series anymore.
Not relevant at all, not even a little bit.
Oh, that hurts, though. That hurts.
It's true.
No, he's absolutely right. I mean, for guys like us who grew up on that series, I mean, yeah, Onimusha is great. But were to release today, Capcom would say, "Here's your new Onimusha," and 55 to 60% of gamers would go. There was
even an Onimusha Tactics game on Game Boy.
Yeah,
fucking turn-based strategy Onimusha game.
So fucking it's ridiculous. And honestly, I think a new Onimusha, while it would be great, I don't think it would sell all that well, because I just don't think this is something that your everyday gamer is knocking down Capcom's door for and demanding. I just don't see it. I don't see the demand. Now, having said that, the demand for something like a Resident Evil is there. I would if Capcom would just go back and revisit, some of the old magic they made happen with Resident Evil 4 and to a lesser extent Resident Evil 5, then I would pick that up in a heartbeat. That's what I want from Capcom. I want them to get back to their roots, and Onimusha just doesn't. I don't think it's going to cut it. But I mean, this is all fucking smoke and mirrors and pipe dream talk, because we all know we're not getting a new Onimusha, we're not getting a new Resident Evil. It's just not going to happen.
Here's the thing most of you probably don't know. There have been quite a bit of talk here in Japan about one of the demos that was playable for Deep Down. There were some hints, there were some connections to Resident Evil in it that maybe...
That doesn't surprise me. I don't know why.
Like maybe it's actually some kind of teaser or playable demo for a next style of Resident Evil in some way, which is weird to me because it's completely different concept-wise. But
isn't it procedurally generated?
I mean, that was part of the original pitch, but we're talking about a demo that was playable at Tokyo Game Show. It was like the last demo that was playable. I actually played it. I thought it was pretty awful, personally. The controls were really bad. Like, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely stunning. But the controls are fucking terrible. They're horrible. I don't understand how they work.
I mean, it just doesn't look like a good game from them.
Hold on, did you say they're horrible? Is that a combination of terrible and horrible?
It means you can download them.
Horrible. No, so something else I wanted to talk about.
It's Charles Barkley saying horrible.
Oh, it's horrible, man. It's horrible. So this is interesting, and this is something so Drunk Cat in chat, you're going to want to pay attention to this. So Namco offers $10,000 to gamer who can explain Dark Souls story. Now this is really interesting. So let me read
Without
this.
making a bunch of shit up.
So let me read this. And didn't Vadi Video already do this? Dark Souls
makes a bunch of shit up.
Dark Souls story is impermeable to most people. It's hard to make out exactly what's going on in either of the first two games, and the third game doesn't look to be any different in that respect. To that end, Namco Bandai put up a challenge to win $10,000 in cash, provided you can successfully explain Dark Souls 3 story to anyone who hasn't played the first two games. Oh, I'll fucking take that challenge. Even players who finished both games find their confusing narrative hard to keep up with, much of which is purposely vague. And they're not fucking joking. They've got a qualified panel of judges chosen by Bandai. But here's the best part. The judges are not chosen by Bandai Namco. They're chosen by Bandai Namco. These self-important motherfuckers. So, originality, embodiment of Dark Souls related themes, and encapsulation of the Dark Souls story are the big deciding factors. And there's actually 3 winners. There's 1 grand prize winner, 1 runner-up, and 3 third-place winners. Oh, and the contest already concluded. Damn it! I can't believe I fucking missed this.
14 people died.
I would have won the fuck out of that. I absolutely love Dark Souls. Everybody knows I'm a huge Dark Souls fan.
I wonder if Epic Namebro or Vadi Video participated.
Disqualified. Well, Epic Namebro's worked on the guides. So, yeah.
Well, he worked on the one for 2, but he wasn't affiliated with anything for 1.
Still, well, part 2 is part of the conversation. He's disqualified.
If you check out Vadi Video's like Bloodborne videos, I mean, the man has like the most soothing voice I've ever heard in my life. Z, no offense, man, but this man has like the ultimate British accent. The ultimate British accent. Like I literally, I was listening to it, and my wife came downstairs. And she had this, and she was like, "Who is that? And where do I get that voice?" And I was like, "The fuck is that supposed to mean?" But she thinks Vadi Video has the sexiest voice she's ever heard.
I think he sounds like a young Alan Rickman. That's what I think.
I can see that, or like I get like a young Sherlock Holmes vibe from it. You know, that's what I get.
Young Benedict Cumberbatch, you mean?
I just looked in chat. Why are people talking about naughty pics of Z Huge?
What?
Did I miss something?
Yo, send those links my way.
Let me see. What you got?
Let me get on that Z action.
I may have gotten a bit off track in the chat, but
what you guys don't know, is that Z Huge is naked right now.
Those chart tattoos though, those are awesome.
Chart tattoos.
It's like Memento. He's just got fucking sales charts.
He's got a tattoo that says "biggest chart of all" on his stomach and an arrow pointing down.
It's a weird bar graph.
It's a weird. Every time Z gets excited, the sales rise. If you get my meaning. I'll be here till Thursday. Okay, so no more dick jokes. I'm cutting myself off. So there is something I wanted to talk about. A few people in chat had mentioned this, and it is something I want to kind of go over. So I have been a big game trailers fan for a long time.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. So as everybody knows, or if anybody in chat doesn't know, a couple days ago, game trailers shut down for good. I guess they got the news very abruptly, actually.
That afternoon,
all of a sudden, out of nowhere. And
Brandon Jones found out in the morning, and then he told everybody.
Yeah, and then so I did not. I was obviously I'm here doing my training. I have a lot of studying to do, so I wasn't able to tune into their final podcast. I'm still going to I'm still going to listen to that when I can.
It was good.
But,
They played Grand Theft Auto 3 for an hour. It was fun.
But did they mention at all why this happened?
They can't. I mean, they're legally bound. But I mean, basically, it's just that Defy decided they didn't want to invest in GT brand as a
It's normal for like severance packages or whatever that you're not allowed to speak about it if you accept the severance package. So I doubt they'll be able to say anything about it. But yeah,
there's not even that much to say. Really, like that thing was there wasn't much to say about it. It was just a corporate decision not to continue GT.
Like here's the thing though, like I was pretty puzzled that they went the route of having somebody buy them out instead of just going independent and putting things out themselves on like YouTube or
kind of like Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller are doing.
And and like now they have that option. Now they've got that option to do it for themselves, and I really hope they do, and I hope a lot of them do so together because I think they work incredibly well together. I think it's one of the best teams out there as far as analysis and
E3. What have you done? What have you done?
E3, what are you doing?
E3, no, dude, like. Oh God, I feel so bad. That was like my favorite E3 moment ever. Like
the thing that strikes me about it is they're one of the few places where you can go and you're going to get optimism. You're going to get here are the things to be excited about. And
well, guys like Huber were genuine. People made fun of them for their E3 reactions, but I mean I applauded them because those guys, those guys, as unreserved as they were passionate gamers, and they loved what they did. They loved what they talked about, and they loved playing games. And I think there's a severe shortage of that in games journalism.
Well,
guys like Jim Sterling, who you guys know I'm not a fan of. Jim Sterling has almost become like a caricature of himself at this point. Nothing makes that man happy, but everything about video games made guys like.
He gave Unravel a 4 out of 10.
Jim Sterling did?
Yeah. Not even Yarny can touch his cold.
See, he's the fucking Grinch of video games, man. Jeff, you were saying something, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say that the GT guys are us. That's who they are, and that's why people like them. Right? We can relate to them. They're just us on camera.
They're the most relatable faces in the
since the one up for sure.
Yeah, no, one up is another side I miss. Yeah, those guys were great.
Sean Baby is awesome. He's still awesome. Y'all should follow him on Twitter. He still makes hilarious jokes.
I remember reading. I remember reading
awesome stuff
back at EGM every month.
We've actually got a
terrible website.
We've got a question in chat. When is the Shirts Off episode? Right now.
Right. Oh God.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's just Brandon frozen with his head coming out of his teeth right
Gotta love that hotel Wi-Fi.
Just getting back on topic, I just wanted to, you guys mentioned they could do kind of one of those independent things like the IGN guys did when they left, but I don't know if those work for a group as large as them. When you split those Patreon funds up, I haven't seen a successful Patreon like that for more than 4 people or 5 people.
So honestly, let's just say that, like, I don't know, Huber and who else?
It's a combination of lots of revenue streams, though. It's possible if you look at Patreon supplemented by YouTube advertising, supplemented by in-video advertising, supplemented by Twitch.
That's a good point.
If you do all 4 together, then you've got a platform that you can sustain, a relevant amount of income and hopefully grow too. Because it seemed to me at least like their audience was picking up right before they died off, which doesn't make any sense to me.
It pretty much was.
So I'll tell you this: if Huber, Bloodworth, if Huber and Bloodworth and Bosman made or started their own thing tomorrow and said we need funds, here's our Patreon, I would subscribe immediately.
Yeah.
I really hope they do, because I think those guys can be just as successful as Kind of Funny. I just, but what else made me really, really upset about the whole game trailers thing was the fact that if you look on Twitter, and again, not mentioning names, but there were people fucking celebrating this. People tweeting these guys and saying, "Good riddance, motherfuckers! You biased motherfuckers!" You know, and people were really upset that they re-reviewed Bloodborne and gave it a 10 because they never given a 10 before.
Yeah.
That
was like a mandatory.
That was all Ian Hink. It was a joke.
That's what people get.
People take that shit too seriously. Come on.
That's what people get upset about now. And
Hink's a jokester.
People were tweeting these guys individually and saying, "Good riddance, motherfuckers. Enjoy the enjoy the breadlines." And I'm looking at this and I'm like, fuck. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, you can not agree with what they say. You can not agree with their console of choice. But I mean, there's no need to rub their fucking faces in it. I mean,
no, that's why these people exist. They just sit around and they want something to be angry about, or people. They're everywhere and they're on every topic.
It's just so goddamn depressing, though, man. I really, really feel bad for these guys. I don't think, and I'm kind of with a few people in chat, I don't see them doing a Patreon kind of deal. I do think that a lot of those guys will absolutely find employment at other sites because they're a known commodity. You know, I mean, you know, they're known throughout the gaming industry, they're known throughout the journalism community, and I do think that they're going to find, most of those guys anyway, will find a place to land. But I'm still kind of in shock over this whole thing. I mean, I really love their video reviews. I mean, I thought Game Trailer did some really
my YouTube subscriction box has been a hell of a lot emptier the last few days.
I know, right? Yeah, it's really weird, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, who's going to be next, you know? And it would be interesting to see
Destructoid.
I hope so.
Sure.
I can't fucking stand this. I'm just kidding.
I can't believe they're still around.
I want to punch Matt Scoville in the face.
And the Escape. No, he's with IGN now.
He's with IGN. Yeah. So I'll tell you what. Ever since Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty left the Beyond podcast, like, I have not been able to stomach that pod. Oh God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's Max Scoville and Brian Altano and somebody else. Sometimes Jared Petty goes in there. I really like Jared Petty. He seems like a really nice guy.
Isn't Marty Sleva on there too?
Marty Sleeva's on there too, and I actually don't mind Marty. I think Marty's a pretty cool guy. But dude, Max Scoville and Brian Altano make me want to melt my own face off with that.
You know what? Their podcast Beyond may suck, but I love the Comedy Button. That is such a fun podcast.
It's Scoville and Altano. I've never actually really listened to it.
It's Scoville, Altano, Ryan Scott from old Games for Windows Live.
Oh yeah.
And
high-pitched voice Ryan.
Scott Bromley.
Scott Bromley. I recognize the name, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. I would love to see more of these kind of funny style deals where gaming journalists just kind of break away and start their own crowdfunded thing, and you know, because that really gives them the freedom to kind of do their own thing. I have been a subscriber and a Patreon. I'm a Patreon supporter of Kind of Funny, and I have been for some time. And I really, really enjoy the content they put out, more so than they ever did at IGN, because now they're kind of really not shackled by that whole corporate restriction of you know, working for a major publisher. And I think it's really refreshing. And I would love, just as indie games are becoming more and more of a common thing in gaming now, I would love to see crowdfunded and Patreon supported stuff become more of a thing in gaming journalism, because it's real. You know, these guys can give their actual opinions on things, and I think that's something that the industry is really, really sorely in need of, aside from the Super Deformed Gamescast, which I think is probably the most important thing to happen in gaming since the Virtual Boy. But that's just personally my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Don't everybody fucking jump in there at once.
It's a hard thing to answer. I think that we're seeing the death of standardized game journalism, and it's slow and agonizing to watch. But we're seeing the start of some new things, which are exciting. And it's really hard to predict how things will turn out. You know, at this point, everything is in flux, and it's difficult to say where things are going to end up. But I sincerely hope that those guys can continue to work together in some capacity. Because
I think it's all... Oh, sorry, finish, Rex.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
No, I was going to say, I think some people underestimate how difficult it is, too, just because of how successful some people like the Kind of Funny guys have been. I mean, they were covering PlayStation on what's, I assume, the biggest games media website out there. And their PlayStation Beyondcast podcast was the #1 PlayStation podcast. So they had a huge audience bring with them, but for, you know, people like Game Trailers who maybe don't have that exposure, it's when you leave and going on your own
has a pretty dedicated audience himself.
That's true. So it's just you leave and go out on your own. You have to be sure that you have something there to support you because that's your life and you have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah, I think there are two different stories to tell with that because one, Colin and Greg get to do their own thing and they do it almost immediately. But for games trailers, we don't really get to know the story, and I hope that it wasn't anything fanboy related. I hope it wasn't just the bending to the will of people complaining that these guys were favoring one console over another or any of that.
They just weren't bringing in the numbers.
Yep, that's the bottom line. I mean, and honestly, the writing was on the wall for a while. I mean, game trailers, viewership had been dipping.
Massive restructuring back in 2014.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it started. And honestly, I don't, I mean, it was shocking how abrupt it was, but it's not surprising to me that game trailers is gone now because I mean that's been something that's been a long time coming.
It hurts, man. It hurts. There's not there's not a lot of good websites worth even going on.
And you made a good point about Destructoid. I mean, ever since after Jim Sterling left, like I'm surprised they've survived this long.
Destructoid and the Escapists, like what are they even still doing around?
I mean, I don't like Destructoid and I don't like Jim Sterling, but I understand the appeal that Jim Sterling has, and he took a large portion of that audience with him when he started the Jimquisition.
Yeah, the Jimquisition episode. His video series gets tons of.
I mean, love him or hate him, dude, but he gets a lot of hits. He gets a lot of views, and I'm surprised that Destructoid is still around. I'm with you. I wanted to open it up real quick to our chat, and any questions you might have for any of us or Z Huge or Rex Novis for that matter, go ahead and throw them out. While I give somebody a quick plug here, I want to give a shout out to our buddy GB Doc Buford. Who is at Forget Amnesia on Twitter. You guys should go check out his page. He's a friend of ours. He was on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he's a game journalist. He does games design consulting. He's also a dev, and Doc is living with a very serious medical condition, and he needs all the help that we can give him. And so what I'm asking is for everybody to go to Patreon and just kind of give what you can to support him. It's patreon.com/docgames, DOCGAMES. So please, kind of, find your way over there if you can and give what you can when you can. I know we've got a few. I'm a Patreon supporter of his, and I know JT is as well, and I think a few of us are. So it's we all got to help each other out, and even if it's just $5, please go over and do what you can to help Doc because he's having a rough time of it right now, and we're trying to do whatever small amount we can to kind of make it right for him. So please do that for him. It's going to be kind of a short night tonight because as you guys can see, I'm still in my hotel here and I've got to do some studying. I'm going to be in this hotel until March 25th, just away from my family, away from my dogs. But I do have I've got my video games here, thankfully, and I've got my podcast here, so that's all I need, motherfuckers. So does anybody in chat have anything for us, or does anybody here on the podcast have anything else they want to bring up, anything else they want to talk about?
Apparently a hacker group claims they just cracked Denuvo DRM, which is the one that Just Cause 3 and Rise of Tomb Raider uses.
Really?
The supposedly uncrackable DRM, yeah.
That took a while.
It says 3DM will soon announce that we have a solution to the latest Denuvo encryption used on the following games. So yeah, they're just teasing it. So I guess you'll be able to download Tomb Raider from the Pirate Bay coming soon.
Wait, wasn't 3DM the one that said they were quitting after this?
Yes.
They weren't
going to
crack any games
for a year to see how it affected sales.
Oh, actually, you know what? There is something I want to mention real quick. This just came out on IGN. Fallout 4 is overhauling survival mode. DLC details coming soon. Let me read this real quick because this sounds pretty interesting. The story says that Bethesda is hinting at big things coming soon to Fallout 4, including an overhauled survival mode and DLC details. A tweet on the official Bethesda Game Studios Twitter implies that sleep, hunger, and disease will apparently play a role once the overhaul is released. That and more danger that is yet to be
It just sounds like more things you need to use items.
Sounds like DayZ.
I would be really excited about that if the interface for that game wasn't utter shit.
It just sounds like three more things to have to go into your Pip-Boy and use items for.
Did you guys see that they patched it and bumped the graphical quality up on the consoles a bit recently?
Yeah.
It's actually a huge improvement. It looks a lot better.
What, for Fallout?
And it performs better. And it performs better despite looking better.
Well, it's the same performance as 1.02, but they bumped the graphics and draw distance up a little bit. So it's
no shit. I didn't know that. I'll have to pop in Fallout 4. Check it out. Is it literally like? Is it a really noticeable difference? Like how big?
It is. They do a slideshow.
It's a big difference. Yeah. It's a pretty big difference.
Yeah. Go check out the Digital Foundry video. It's a pretty big.
Why couldn't they have just launched the fucking game like that?
I don't know.
Because Bethesda. Bethesda. That's why.
Yeah. Somebody in chat asks what I'm studying for. I am literally studying. I'm studying fucking PowerPoint and presentation and briefing methods, and it is just as interesting as it sounds. It's a really, really good time, and thank you for reminding me how much fun I'm having. It's fucking great.
Tell us how you really feel.
Not really though. I've been waking up at 6:30 every morning. If you guys can't tell by my face, I'm fucking exhausted.
Are you trying to get an MBA? Is that what that's for?
No, I'm actually a college dropout. So no, I'm definitely not trying to get an MBA. But if nobody has anything else, oh wait, hold on, we do have something else. Good call by Alcoholicost in chat. He wants to know about the positive Hitman previews and the beta tomorrow. Does the beta start tomorrow? I've been so out of the fucking loop.
A beta for a single-player game?
Yeah. For Hitman, what's isn't it? It's episodic, right?
It's a single-player game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's to get people interested in talking about it. That's probably why it's there.
Yeah.
So betas are officially demos now. That's what.
Apparently beta demos.
I'm okay with that. Whatever. Whatever. So I just looked it up, and apparently Hitman is getting a lot of good press right now. So yeah, that's awesome. I mean, to be totally honest with you, game, I have, and it's good for what it is.
I played Kane and Lynch, which is pretty close, I think.
Kane and Lynch is utter dog shit. I really feel bad that you played that. But honestly, by the way, did you know they almost made a Kane and Lynch movie?
Yeah.
Do you know who's gonna play Lynch?
I don't remember.
Jamie Foxx.
Wait, aren't they both white guys?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Jamie Foxx is gonna play Lynch, so yeah, let that roll around in your head for a minute. But we'll go ahead and end it here because I do gotta get some studying done.
I gotta go finish Firewatch.
Once again, this has been episode 21 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. Don't forget, you can join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. Sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. But we always have a lot of fun. And if you are watching this video, please comment, rate, subscribe. We always like subscribers. Please help us out. And don't forget, we may not always agree, and we may not even like each other all the time. But I'm just kidding. I love all you guys. But we always keep it real. So until next week, we will see you guys later.
And if you like JRPGs, buy Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
There will never be Digimon talk on this podcast ever again.
That was the one and only Digimon special.
There will never be Digimon discussion on this podcast ever again.
It's a good game!
Done. We're done here. We're done here.
We're never coming back.
Good night. I'm taking it here.
Goodbye, Vita. Goodbye, Rocket League.
Done.